what I used to do is when I went to these gaming conventions, I would be a patron of the arts. What does that mean? Well, much like on Patreon right now, if there's someone who's a content creator that you like and you support, you can usually contribute some kind of monetary amount and they will do something in return. Whether it's there's a special event that they'll hold if they hit a certain threshold of fundraising, whether they actually do a direct deal because some people on Patreon say, oh, if you pledge this amount, I'll immediately create this for you or whatever. Okay. Well, the way it worked at these conventions was you couldn't just do on-demand stuff like that. Instead, people would bring their creative works to the convention and sell it in what they call like the creators corner or the marketplace. And you're talking all kinds of stuff. Artwork, clothing, blankets. I could keep going on like little keychains, posters, anything you could think of. Clothing, cosplaying was actually quite popular. Buy cosplay accessories and things at these places. Okay? So back then, since I was becoming a prominent YouTuber, I had money to spend and I wanted to support these very creative people. I decided that I would start supporting them by buying their stuff. And over the years, I accumulated a small collection of gaming artwork that I kind of hung around my condo in Connecticut. For many years, you could see it on camera behind me, or if I was doing vlogging, you would see it all over the walls of my condo in Connecticut. It was a part of my setup for vlogging and everything. Then when I moved across the country, basically that stuff was never used. It was put in storage. Around 2017, I basically was kind of starting my life over. And when I did, I took a lot of that stuff out and I redecorated my house, just my upstairs basically, with a lot of gaming artwork that's been kind of on the walls. Now, I need to emphasize something. This gaming artwork has no intrinsic value, all right? A couple years ago, I went through a bankruptcy, and it was funny because during a bankruptcy, you have to disclose anything you own. And as we were going through this, I had to itemize every item that I owned in the house that might have had value. And when I started going through the gaming artwork, they were like, okay, so what is it? Okay, so here it is. It's a painting of Mega Man. Okay, so first of all, is it licensed? No. Oh, so it's unofficial? Yes. So literally it's illegal. It's an illegal piece of artwork. Yes. Immediately it has no value. Because technically that artwork should have never been created. If no one paid licensing for that artwork to exist, then it never should have existed. They never should have been able to sell it. But the thing is, 10 years ago, no one was checking at conventions to see who had the rights to sell what. To this day, I don't know if they still check, right? I don't know. But I was buying, back then, I was buying artwork of Super Mario Brothers, Ninja Gaiden, characters from the Marvel Universe, Mega Man, and other games, okay? And none of it was ever licensed. You've seen in my background, not the holiday background, but I have a little Super Mario, and I have a little Ninja Turtle from the NES games jumping around in the back. Do you think those are licensed artworks? Of course they're not. They're unofficial. They didn't really have permission to have those, but I still have them, okay? So there you go. So anyway, the reason I'm saying this is because, you know, a lot of the times if you had an art collection or whatever, you'd be required to like surrender that, you know, during a bankruptcy. But as we were going through it, basically, you know, as we were itemizing everything, they were like, so what would the real value of this be? I was like, well, here's what it is. And they were, oh, nothing. it's worth like $5 for something that I paid like hundreds of dollars for. They're like, that's worth like $5 because it's like a doodle. It's essentially like a kid doodled a character. There's no value to it because it's not officially licensed and therefore it shouldn't even exist. Right? So anyway, so what I was getting at here is that I have a few of these still, that perhaps I could add to the backgrounds of my streams. And the reason this came to mind is I had some of these hanging in my hallway, and over the summer, some of the things that I had to hang them wore out. Like I was using those adhesive sticky tab things that have like Velcro on them. And it got so hot this year. We had record high temperatures for about a week, and it melted off the wall. And so one of them I just tossed in the closet, not ever thinking, oh, what should I do with it? And then it came to mind. I was like, wait a minute. I can just use these on my streams. So let me show you an example. Look at this. So this is Mega Man using the Shadow Man Shadow Blade to attack Spark Man in Mega Man 3. It's one of my favorite NES games of all time. Mega Man 2 and 3 are two of my favorite NES games of all time. Now you might say, well, what is this? The background is hand painted by someone who is named Square Painter, and the artwork in the foreground is bead art. I don't know if you can see, it's raised off the canvas. You can't really see it. It's bead art that's raised off the canvas and glued to the canvas. Okay? So it's a combination of 2D and 3D art. All right? It's pretty neat. And I was thinking, hey, you know what I could do? Right? I could set it up in the background back here. We could basically have like different little artworks in the background on my streams. I could have one on each side of me basically for my setup. Once we get done with the holiday stuff, maybe we can mix it up. Because, you know, previously, what do we have back there? We had the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X boxes. That's not the most exciting stuff. You know what I'm saying? But having some unique and interesting 8-bit art behind me on my stream could actually work out pretty well, I feel. And also now my webcam's better, so you can actually see the art. As opposed to the old webcam, it would have looked absolutely terrible, right? So I think it might look pretty sweet. And I have more than one. Like I have this one. I have one other Mega Man one, which I forget if it's Airman. Yeah, I think it's Airman. And then I have a really big one, or it's not really big, but it's wide and skinny, and that's Ninja Gaiden, but I don't think that would fit because it's too wide. And I have a smaller, classic Super Mario Brothers one. All right, that's basically Bowser's Castle boss fight. That one could definitely fit. So maybe I could do like one Mega Man here, and then I could do Bowser's Castle on the other side, and then we could alternate because I have some others. Maybe we could alternate and rotate them around during the year for variety purposes. You know, that'd be pretty cool. So that's what I'm thinking anyway. Something different for the streams rather than it just being, you know, a freaking box and a little piece, you know, have some more stuff back there, a little bit more variety of stuff. It's something I got sitting around the house I'm not using. Why not, right? I'm going to put this in my closet now.